Who actually needs a tankless water heater like the Takagi H3J DVN? That's the question most people ask once they realize they're staring at a $1,200 plus price tag and a manual that's thicker than a college textbook. If you're still on the fence, the link is in the description if you want to check the product details on Amazon. This isn't a plug-and-play swap for your old 50-gallon tank. It's a condensing, high-efficiency unit that runs on natural gas, so if you're in an apartment with electric-only hookups or a home that still uses propane, keep scrolling. But if you've got the right fuel source and you're tired of running out of hot water mid-shower or paying to keep 50 gallons of water warm 24/7, this might be the upgrade you didn't know you needed. Let's talk real-world fit. This Takagi is aimed at households that use hot water in bursts. Think a couple of showers back-to-back, a dishwasher cycle, and maybe the washing machine running at the same time. If you've got 3 teenagers all hopping in the shower at 7 a.m., this unit can deliver up to 6.6 gallons per minute, which is enough to keep everyone from screaming. But if you're running a whole house recirculation loop or you've got 4 shower heads going at once, you'll hit the limit fast and the unit will cycle off until demand drops. The space-saving angle is legit. I've seen these mounted in a closet, behind a false wall in a bathroom, even tucked inside a kitchen cabinet with the venting routed straight up through the roof. That's a game changer for small homes or remodels where a bulky tank won't fit. The catch? You need a dedicated natural gas line rated for at least 199,000 BTU input. If your installer has to upsize the line from the street, that can add $500 to $1,000 to the install bill, so budget for the whole project, not just the heater. Energy conservation is where this model actually saves you money. It's a condensing unit, which means it pulls extra heat out of the flue gases and uses it to preheat the incoming water. In mild climates you can see efficiency numbers north of 94%, and even in colder regions it still beats a standard tank by a wide margin. Over 5 years, that can offset a good chunk of the purchase price, especially if you're replacing an old, inefficient tank that's been guzzling gas for a decade. The computerized safety features are subtle but important. No pilot light means no wasted gas and no risk of carbon monoxide if the flame blows out. The unit runs a self-diagnostic cycle every time it fires up, and it'll shut itself down if it detects any irregularities. That's peace of mind you don't get with a basic tank. Now for the trade-offs. First, the venting. Because it's condensing, you can vent horizontally with PVC pipe, which is cheaper and easier than metal chimney work. But you still need a dedicated air intake and exhaust run, and the pipe has to slope slightly downwards so condensate can drain out. If your installer isn't familiar with condensing tankless setups, you might end up with a sloppy job that leaks or doesn't draft properly. Second, the flow rate is impressive on paper, but real-world delivery drops once the incoming water temperature dips below 50 F. In most US climates, that's only a problem for a few weeks in winter, but if you live in Minnesota or upstate New York, you'll notice the shower isn't as hot as it was in July. You can bump the temperature dial, but that shortens the lifespan of the heat exchanger over time. Third, the price. At $1,200 to $1,400 depending on the seller, this isn't a weekend DIY project. You need a licensed plumber who's certified on Takagi units, and that labor can run another $1,000 to $1,500. If you're handy and your gas line is already up to spec, you might save a few hundred, but most people will end up paying closer to $2,500 all in. That's a lot for a water heater, even if it never runs out of hot water. Who should buy it? If you're building new, remodeling, or replacing a tank that's on its last legs and you've got the right fuel and space, this Takagi is a solid long-term play. It's also a smart pick if you're tired of scheduling hot water breaks for your family or you're renting out a guest house and want reliable hot water without a second tank. Who should skip it? If you're on a tight budget or your home isn't set up for natural gas, look elsewhere. If you're in a region with extremely cold incoming water and you need maximum flow in the dead of winter, you might be happier with a larger tank or a dual tank system. And if you're the type who likes to DIY everything, this one's